Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned to another video. If you're new here guys, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in to another video. In today's video guys, what I will be doing, I will be going through the application form for a Canadian study permit in detail with you guys, show you guys step by step what should go where and how do you fill out this application by yourself. A lot of persons are always reaching out and they're always asking the same questions. What do I put in this section? What do I put in that section? And guys, I understand that it's a very frustrating process. So for that reason, I'm gonna be going through the application form with you guys, explaining everything as best as I know. Of course, I was a student in Canada. I'm no longer a student. I did this exact form. I know how to fill it out. And I just want to share that experience with you guys so that you guys can also be empowered with that knowledge. If you enjoy these kind of video guys, please consider subscribing to my channel, sharing the content, and definitely leave a big thumbs up. I also would like to say I'm currently not an immigration consultant. All the information that is given on this channel is based on my own personal experience, going through the processes and also being influenced also by other persons who have gone through the process as well. Check out the links in the description down below guys. If you want to support our channel, that's always an option. Go and check out our GoFundMe. We want to become certified immigration consultant. Thank you guys so much in advance. Now let's get into it guys. So I really hope that you guys are seeing my screen properly. I was actually trying to do a screen record, but my laptop was not cooperating. So instead I decided to video my screen. Hopefully you guys are seeing it okay. I will definitely go as slow as possible so that I leave no one behind, okay? If you guys have any questions as well that is not answered in this video, you guys can always go ahead and leave it in the comment section right down below. And definitely let me know if there's a specific section that you want me to revisit, or also if you have a question you can just throw it down in the comment section down below and I'll try my best to answer the question. Okay guys, anyways, let's get right into it. So the first thing guys, when you're completing the application form, it is something that takes a lot of focus. You want to make sure that you are free and you are like not distracted and you have enough time to invest into it. So let's go guys. Number one says a UCI. What is a UCI? A UCI is a number that you will get when you apply for any Canadian visa or any application you make with IRCC. You are issued with what is called a UCI number. Now, if it is that you have applied in the past, you would have gotten a UCI number. You would use the exact same UCI number in this section right here. Now, guys, if you're applying for the first time, you will leave it empty. Okay, guys? Now, the other question that says one service in, this is actually referring to the language. Now, I'm gonna assume that most persons watching this video speaks English. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna go ahead and select English. Then the other question here says family name as shown in your passport. All right, guys. So dependent on the passport that I have, family name is also your last name. All right, guys. But whatever name is in your passport as your family name is what you're gonna put right here. In this case, I'm just gonna be using John Brown. So I'm gonna put Brown in the section right here. Okay, the given name, guys, is often referred to as your first name and your middle name. Otherwise, as shown in your passport or travel document. So whatever name is in your passport underneath given name is what you're going to be putting in this section right here. In this case, my given name is John, former first name based on my passport, and my middle name is middle name can be Steve. My name is Mr. John Steve Brown. Oh my God, that's the best name I could come up with. Moving on, guys. Have you ever used any other name? Example, nickname, maiden name, or alias? No, guys, this is very important. If you are married or if you had a name change for whatever reason, then you definitely have to select yes in this section. So if it is that you had a maiden name and then you married, and then you're no longer, like, you change your name, whether a double barrel name or you have decided to change your last name totally, you'll select yes, and then you would then put what was your previous name. All right, guys. Now, Mr. John Steve Brown is a man and he's not married. So here we go. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to select no. We have never used any other name before. Okay, guys, going on. It's asked about your gender. You have female, male, unknown, or another gender. Yes, guys, that's how it is here. Now, Mr. John Brown is a male. Whatever gender you choose, you put it right there. Whatever gender you are, you put it right there. Then your date of birth, and of course it's the year, and you have to put it as though the sequence is, in terms of if you have to type out the entire four. You have to type out the entire four numbers in the year. So Mr. John Brown was born in 1990 and was born the 1st of the 1st. Okay, guys? And then place of birth. Of course, Mr. John Brown is a Jamaican. He's applying from Jamaica and he was born in St. Thomas. Of course, guys, if you're not sure what to put here, all you need to do is to look in your passport. In your passport, it has your place of birth. You can just put whatever is in your passport underneath place of birth. And the country or territory is, as I said, Mr. John Brown is a Jamaican, so he was born in St. Thomas. Oh, not the Ivory Coast, in St. Thomas, Jamaica. Okay, why does it keep going back to the Ivory Coast? Okay, here we are. Citizenship, guys. Citizenship is your country of birth. Where are you a citizen of, right? If it is that not your country of birth or you're a citizen of a specific country, that's where you're gonna put here. Now, Mr. John Brown was born in Jamaica. He's living in Jamaica. He is a Jamaican. All right, so we're gonna put citizen Jamaica. Okay, guys. All right, now we're moving on. Hopefully you guys are following so far. It's a pretty straightforward application form, to be honest, but a lot of persons are just really nervous when they're filling out the form, and hopefully this video will go a far way in helping you guys and just, you know, relaxing a little bit. Okay, guys, now we are at country or territory of residence. This is where you're living when you're applying for your study permit. Whichever country you're applying from, where currently is what you'll put here. Not which part you're born, not where you're born or where you're a citizen. It's where you are a resident, which means where you are living right now. Okay, guys? So Mr. John Brown is living in Jamaica still. So of course, he's gonna put Jamaica. And the status, if it is that you're living in another country at the moment, what's your status in that country? Are you a visitor? Are you a citizen? Are you a permanent resident? Are you a student? Other whatever causes you to be living in that country where you are living, where you're applying from, is what you'll put right here. In this case, Mr. John Brown is a citizen because he's applying from Jamaica, and he is a citizen of Jamaica. He's not living anywhere else when he is applying for this application right now. Once you choose citizen, it then blocks out the other sections because obviously that's no longer important. However, if you're living in another country when you're applying, you have to put the date where you got there and the date when you're expected to leave. Okay, guys, that's very important. Now, number 8 says, previous countries or territories of residence during the past 5 years, and it also explains to say, have you lived in any country or territory other than your country of citizenship or your current country of residence for longer than 6 months in the past 5 years? So if it is that you have lived somewhere outside of your own country or outside of the country where you are currently applying from for longer than 6 months within the past 5 years, you have to select yes right here, and you have to put the details right there. right? So for persons who probably went on some overseas program for a little while and stuff like that, you have to put yes, and you have to put the country as long as it is within the past 5 years, and as long as it is that you are not currently in that country that you when you are applying, and you are not a citizen of that country. I'm trying to be as basic as possible. Hopefully you guys are following, and hopefully you guys are understanding. But Mr. John Brown has never been anywhere else. He has no travel history. So we're just gonna select no, because he hasn't resided anywhere else. Alright? So of course when we select no, it blacks out all that other section. That is also important. Also, what I want to say, guys, when you are completing a Canadian application form, it is done electronically. It is done on your computer. It's not an application that you print and write. You have to fill it out on your application, fill it out on your computer, and then when you are submitting your application form through your online account, it asks you for an electronic signature. All right, guys. So you don't have to print it and sign it and scan it back. You just fill it out, save it, validate it, and then when you're submitting it is when it will ask you for an electronic signature. All right, guys, moving on. Country or territory we're applying. Country or territory we're applying, same as current country or territory of residence. So this is when you are applying, are you in the country of your residence or your country of your citizenship? Yes. Mr. John Brown is applying from Jamaica. Of course, it blacks out that section. Moving down, guys, it says your marital status. Mr. John Brown is married. And Mr. John Brown was married. You put the date that you were married. Okay, guys? Whatever date it was that you were married, you put it here. I'm doing this video on November 4th, 2021, so that's the date that Mr. John Brown got married. Okay, guys, you just put the date right there. And of course, provide the name of your current spouse, common law partner, or whatever relationship. If it were that you put single up top where I put married, this section would have been grayed out, or if it wasn't grayed out, you just put not applicable. All right, guys, so now I'm just gonna put Mr. John Brown's spouse last name based on what is in her passport, and her name is Mary Jane. Her last name is Brown because she's married, and her first name is Mary Jane. So Mary Jane is married to Mr. John Brown. Okay, guys, very important. I'm going through detail because we do not want to miss any of these questions, because the worst thing that, or the last thing that you want is an incomplete application form. You want to make sure that all your questions are answered. Now, have you previously been married or in a common law relationship? Guys, this is asking you if you have been previously married to someone else other than the Mary Jane Brown, right? If it is that your only marriage is with Mary Jane Brown, then this is no. If it is that you're in a common law relationship and it says, have you been previously in another common law relationship, it's not talking about your current common law relationship, but it is really talking about whether or not you're in a common law relationship before the one that you're in right now. If you choose to put it, you say yes, and then you'll have to put the name of that person. But I would suggest that you put no, unless you really want to share. I can't tell you what to put on your application form. But generally that's no. Unless you've been married, divorced, and then married again, then you'd have to put the name of your, of your ex partner right there. And also you have to put the date of birth, the type of relationship, whether a marriage or common law relationship or whatever, when it started and when it ended. All right, guys, very important. Now, guys, languages, native language or mother tongue. What language do you speak? Of course, applying from Jamaica, Jamaican language is English. And are you able to communicate in English or French? And if it is that you speak French, you can put English, French, whatever, both, whatever. Of course, John Brown only speaks English. All right, it blacks out this section, and then it goes on to say, Have you taken a test from a designated testing agency to assess your proficiency in English or French? No, guys, if you're watching this video from the Caribbean, this is not talking about CXC English or GIC or GCE English. This is talking about IELTS English or CELPIP.ca English. If you have never done an IELTS English test or a CELPIP English test, guys, this is no. If you have done one, then you select yes, but then you would have to provide your proof that you have taken this test before. Okay, guys, now it starts to get really interesting because it starts to ask for information that has to be very accurate. All the other information has to be accurate, but you have to pay special attention to your passport number, because your passport number is what is going to be entered in every single database. All right, guys, so you put in whatever numbers in your passport. Jamaican passport general starts with an A for an adult and then a series of numbers. So that's Mr. John Brown's passport number. Where was the passport issued from? Of course, it was issued from the country of Jamaica. And the issue date, I'm gonna put today's date again, and expiration date, I'm gonna put it expires 10 years general, so 2031 November 3rd. So the date that your passport was issued and the expiration date of your passport. Now, guys, in just an effort to be as clear and thorough as possible, let me just explain, guys. If it is that you have had passports in the past that has expired and you have renewed it, you don't need to put when you got your first passport. You just need to put the current passport that you have, when did you get it, and when does it expire. Okay, guys, hopefully that is very straightforward enough for you guys. For this trip, will you use up, I'm at number 5 right here, guys. For this trip, will you use a passport issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Taiwan that includes your personal identification number? Of course, that is grayed out because you are applying from Jamaica, so there's nothing you can do here. You just leave it blank. For this trip, will you use a national Israel passport? Nope, you can't put nothing there as well. That's also grayed out. Do you have a national identity document? This is no, guys, and this is a question that I get very common. A national identity document is a document that some persons use instead of a passport. Some countries use what is called a national identity document instead of a passport, and that is when you'd select yes if you are from one of those countries that uses a national identity document. Guys, your national identity document is not referring to your voter's ID or a driver's license. The answer to this question is no. Okay, guys, going on. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid alien registration card, which is a green card? Mr. John Brown doesn't. If you do, you just put yes, and then you put your document number here and your expiration date there. In this case, it's grayed out because Mr. John Brown has never gone away before in his life. Him just a try look a bus. Okay, guys? Going on, guys, contact information. You put your address right here. Now, I'm gonna put a Jamaican address. A Jamaica address doesn't generally has a PO box like that. So I'll just put the street number 3, street name, let's just say Blue Lane, just trying to think of a random address here in Jamaica. Blue Lane is in the city of, say, Kingston. And the country is absolutely Jamaica. Okay, it blacks out the province. Obviously, you don't have a postal code in Jamaica, guys. You don't have to put district as well. You can leave this as is. If your address is like this, you can leave this as is. Unless you want to complete other stuff, like some persons have a PO box, some persons live in other places in the world. If you have a postal code, Jamaica does not have a postal code. Stuff like that, you can definitely fill out your address the best way possible, but make sure that it's very straightforward. Okay, guys? No, residential address same as mailing address. I usually say yes, unless it is that you get your mail at another address, which lots of persons do as well. That's totally fine. Some persons collect their mails at another address than where they're living. If that's the case for you, you can select residential address and mailing address is different. You can say it's the same. You can say no, and then you can type out your mailing address right there as well. Okay, guys, moving on. It's very important to make sure that your telephone numbers and your email address is very accurate, because your email address is what IRCC is gonna use to contact you for the most part. Now, if you're applying from Canada or US, then you select this option right here. If you're applying from somewhere else, in this case Jamaica, you select other. Of course, telephone number, is it gonna be a resident, cellular, or business? Let's use a cell phone. Most persons have a cell phone, and you put the area code, and then just say 7 digits. Okay, guys, if you want to put an alternative phone number, say for example you have a landline that you want to use, you can also do that as well. Just make sure that you're selecting the country being other right here, and not Canada or US, and then you select residence, and then you can put the same thing again, and whatever number you choose. If you fax, whatever, unless you have a fax, you can leave that alone. But the email address has to be very accurate, guys, because your email address is what IRCC is gonna use and contact you. Okay, guys. So in this case, it's John Brown at yahoo.com. Okay, guys. Nice and straightforward, guys. Don't complicate the process. It's very nice and straightforward. Now, guys, this is where it gets very interesting, because of course we are completing a study permit application form, and in case I didn't mention it before, that's form number IMM1294. If it is that you are looking for that form, again I repeat, it is form IMM1294. So this is specific for a study permit application. It doesn't matter where in the world you are, you'll fill out this application. Absolutely. Now, it asks you for the name of the school. This is the name of the school that you've been accepted to. Okay, guys, and it gives you a little description here. I have been accepted at the following educational institution. Attach the original letter of acceptance. Now, let's pick a school out of the bag. Let's pick Umber College. Okay, and my level of study will be, are you doing a certificate, a diploma, or a postgrad, or whatever? Whatever you're doing, that's what you're gonna choose right here. There's a drop down. Just choose what fits what you're doing the best, okay? Mr. John Brown is doing a college diploma, so he selects diploma. If you're doing a postgraduate certificate, you can just look and choose what lines as close as possible to what you are doing, all right, guys? And my field of study will be, let's select that again. What field of study you're doing? Again, it's just a broad category. Are you doing hospitality, arts, business, computer? It's just a broad category, guys, all right? So, of course, Mr. Brown likes it easy. He's going to be doing business and commerce. Nice and straightforward. Okay, complete address of the school. Umber College is in the province of Ontario. And the city, I am not sure where it is. I'll just choose Toronto. Whatever, I'll just choose a city, wherever it is from. And you put the address right here. All right, guys, that's pretty straightforward. Whatever, you must know the address of the school. You have applied to them. If not, you just go and Google it, and you put the address right there. Right here, guys, this is very important. In order to be eligible for a postgraduate work permit, you have to make sure that the school that you're applying for is a part of the DLI. And the DLI is a designated learning institution, all right? It has a DLI number, which is usually easy to find. It'll be on your acceptance letter. And if not, you can just go and Google it. All right, guys? So you can put your DLI number right here. It says DLI number. You just put whatever your school's DLI number is right there. When you apply to come to It's telling me that my DLI is wrong, but yeah, that's because I just made up a number, so I'm just gonna ignore that red mark. Okay, guys. Now, when you apply for a college in Canada, you are automatically given oftentimes a web, what I would say, access to the college, in terms of you become a part of their web-based platform, and you are issued a student ID number, and then you're gonna put that student ID number right here. Whatever that student ID number is, you will know it will be in your letter of acceptance, and if not, it will be in your school portal, if you understand what I mean. The duration or expected of your studies. If you're starting fall semester, guys, you can just say September, for example. Say you're starting January 2022. You put 2022, right? And then you can put the first. Get the date right. Hold on. Then you can put the first of the first. It doesn't have to be the exact date that the school. It doesn't have to be the exact date, guys, that the school starts. It's just winter, fall, summer, whatever. So you can put the 1st of January 2022 because you're gonna be starting in January, and it's a 2-year course, and that usually ends in December. So you can say 2023, 4 semesters. Yeah, 2023, December 31st. Because you don't know when school is gonna end, so you just use the month that is gonna end. All right, guys. Coming down to the part that a lot of persons have questions about: tuition. What the cost of my studies, guys? You're gonna put the annual cost of your tuition right here, not the overall cost of the 2 years. If it is that you're doing a 2-year program, you can just put 1 year. All immigration really wants to know is that you have enough to cover 1 year of your living expenses, including your tuition. All right, guys, it's nice to know that you can sustain yourself, but generally, you should be able to find a job to sustain yourself enough. So 1 year's tuition is on average, say, $16,000 Canadian dollars right here. Oh, that's 160. 16,000 Canadian dollars. Another question, guys, is room and board. It is expected, guys, that you know where you're gonna stay when you come to Canada. If it is that you're gonna be staying with friends and family, if it is that you're gonna be staying on campus, if it is that you're gonna be renting an apartment. If it is that you're staying with friends and family, guys, you can do one of two things. You can either leave this section blank, or you can put a reasonable amount where you can contribute. However, if it is that you're leaving this section blank, you have to put it in your letter of explanation that you're staying with friends or family who will be providing room and board at no cost to you. Now, you can either get that person to write a letter or not, but we'll talk about that process some other time. So, Mr. John Brown will be living on campus, for example. Mr. John Brown will be living on dorms at Umber College. So all Mr. John Brown needs to do is to go on Umber College's website, look at the cost for the dorms, and then multiply it for the year. So it's safe. It's $500 per month. All right, guys. It's $500 per month times 12. That's what, $6,000. Yep, math's not that bad. So you put $6,000 right there. If it is that you are renting an apartment, you have to put whatever figure is reasonable to you. Now, let's go over to funds available for my stay. The total funds available for your stay, guys, is the total amount of money that you are showing that you are able to cover your living expenses. This includes whatever is committed to you from sponsors, from friends, from family, whatever. It's a total amount, guys. It's a total. It says funds available for my stay. It doesn't mean how much you have and how much anybody else have. It's the total amount that is available for your stay. So Mr. John Brown has $12,000 in his account. 12,000 Canadian dollars in his account. His sister in Canada is also sponsoring him $10,000. That's $22,000, and his wife is sponsoring him $5,000. That's $27,000. So we're gonna be putting $27,000 right here. Now, my expenses will be paid for by myself and others. Oh, you can only choose one, so let's choose myself. And then, oh, you know what? Let's choose other, and then over this side, you'll type myself. Your sponsor is mother and spouse. That is what that would look like, right? Because you use the total amount right here, you have to put everybody who will be sponsoring you right here as well. That's very important, guys. Okay, now education, guys. Have you had any post-secondary education, including university or college or training? Now, this is what you are gonna have to put in for yourself in terms of, have you done this? This is pretty personal to you. Okay, guys? No, so just for the purposes of this application, I'm just gonna say no, just to make it a little bit easier. That is grayed out. And then now, guys, we're gonna put in all the employees or the employer that you have worked for in the past 10 years. Okay, guys? Now, this is only for the past 10 years. If you are older and you have done jobs like longer than 10 years, you don't need to put this here. It states clearly right here that give details of your employment for the past 10 years, including if you have ever had any government positions, including civil servant, judge, police officers, mayor, member of parliament, hospital administration, etc. Okay, guys? So whatever is your own unique situation, you'll put that right here. Okay, guys? Okay, and then all we do now is to read these questions and answer them as best as possible to you. Within the past 2 years, have you or a family member ever had tuberculosis? No. Do you have any physical or mental disorder which would require health services other than medication during your stay in Canada? No. Have you ever remained beyond the validity of your status? No. Of course, guys, you know, you answer these questions truthfully based on your own circumstances. All right, guys? This is not a no, going all the way down. Because if it is that you found that to have lied on your application, you get an instant ban for 5 years. That is very important as well. Read the questions. If it applies to you guys, please tell the truth. Explain where necessary. And then definitely take it from that angle. Okay, guys? So, yes, I give consent. When you are done with this application, guys, all you do, you put the date right here. I'm going to be putting today's date because I'm going to be, quote unquote, submitting this application. There's a signature section here. We are not going to sign it, guys. Again, repeat, we're not going to print it and sign it because it will be submitted online. Okay, guys? A couple years ago, when there were paper-based applications, you would have printed it and then signed it, but now everything is done online, so that is no longer required. Yes, guys, so when you are done, and you have double-checked, you go all the way up and you double-check and you make sure that all your information is accurate, then you're gonna hit this validate button. I'm not sure if it's gonna allow me to validate, guys, because there are some sections that I didn't fill out, like the employment section and the college section. So it probably won't allow me. But when you are ready to submit, you're gonna validate this and then save it. All right, guys. I validate it by just hitting this validation button. And if it pops up like this, it means that there are some sections that are missing, and then you just want to close it and then just go back up and review it. But I expected this because there are some fields that are left empty, as I said. But for your peace of mind, if that pops up, you just come out of it and you scroll up, and then anything that you see in red is what would be where your error is or where you didn't remember to fill out. All right, guys. In this case, I know that the DLI is in red, so it wasn't gonna allow me to validate it because I'm using a fictitious DLI number. Okay, guys. So yeah, and of course the employment section is all blank, as I told you guys, so it won't allow me to validate, but it will allow you guys to validate as long as you guys fill out the application form properly, and then you are good to go. I really hope that this video was helpful. I really hope that this video shed some light on the application form and a lot of person's questions were answered. If it is the guys that you like this video, again, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a big thumbs up, and definitely visit the comment chat. Let me know if there's something that you wanted to me to touch on that I didn't, and also if there's anything that you want me to talk about, I'll definitely look into it and do a video on it as well. Please, guys, consider subscribing to my channel. Consider supporting our GoFundMe. We're on a drive to becoming a registered immigration consultant, guys. Please consider supporting our GoFundMe. The link is right in the description right down below, guys. Definitely go and check that out, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Until the next one, have a good day.